Talking, it's all yours. You'll go up automatically.
Can you hear that?
Scott Hardy. And your phone calls at 256-234-6221. If it's sports in the Lake Martin area, we cover it. The Lake Martin Sports Roundup right now.
Good Tuesday evening out there to everybody, and welcome into the Lake Martin Sports Roundup show. Brett Pritchard and Scott Hardy here with you till 7 o'clock, and then myself and Luke Robinson will be on live from 7 to 9. Scott, good to see you up here. Always good to look out through the dining room here at JR Sports Bar and Grill. See a full house. Last Tuesday night, it was packed to the gills. Tonight as well. Maybe a little bit slimmer. It's spring break for Alex City schools, so a lot of people out of town on vacation, a little bit of a break. It's hard to believe it's spring break already. I mean, and I know it's not spring break for everybody, but it's spring break for here in Alex City, and it's just hard to believe that it's here already. So we'll turn around, and it'll be time for graduation. It'll be summer. Then we'll be talking about football again. That's just how quick it moves. But we'll have a couple of T-ball teams up here tonight, Scott, to recognize them. That's what we love to concentrate on. We love to get kids of all ages. We had a high school softball team on last week and had a couple of youth league teams on as well. And basketball kind of recognized two age groups that won the state, not the state, but the city league championship. So tonight we'll have two T-ball teams as we're about to get started here in Alex City, and most everywhere else. Opening day will be at the end of the month. So we're excited about that. Braden's playing an 11 and 12-year-old. So we have faced the same things everybody else has faced to this point. The weather's been horrible, can't get on the fields.
Yeah, but with spring approaching, definitely this is my favorite time of the year for sports. I love football, and I love everything about it, but this is a special time of year. You've got March Madness, you've got high school baseball, softball going on, Little League about to start. So for those looking to get active and go out and support the community, this is a great way to do so.
Well, next Tuesday right here on the Lake Martin Sports Roundup show, we're going to have a big event. We will have the March Madness drawout, and we will have the poker walk that'll be coming through here. We're going to be excited about it. A ton of things going on down in this area of Alexander City. We can't say enough about it, so make sure you make plans next Tuesday night to be right here at JR Sports Bar and Grill. You can draw your team out for March Madness because Selection Sunday's coming up this Sunday, Scott. So we'll know who makes the tournament. Obviously, Auburn will not be in the tournament again for a record-breaking however many years in a row it's been. So Alabama won't be making it either. It's it's pretty sad that, Alabama's been a little bit better than us over the last few years, but not much. I mean, to be honest with you just want to talk about end results.
Don't let Luke Robinson hear you say that, by the way.
Well, I mean,
that's a different topic, but don't let
perception is reality, and Luke is to the point he'll agree that they have. I said they've been better than us, but not much. And that's again, you look at it. I mean, what do you consider a good season? And neither one of them have burned the woods up. Auburn's been worse than Alabama, definitely, but it puts a damper on March Madness in this state, Scott, when you don't have either of your teams make the tournament. So, but anyway, we won't talk about Auburn and Alabama basketball. We're going to talk about youth league sports here. And you mentioned this too. Let's talk about some high school stuff. The soccer team's in action, baseball and softball. Tennis is in action, golf's in action. You're right. There are so many sports that are going on right now during this time of year. From now through May, it's a fun time.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of people in the community who have taken initiative to try to start some other things. They're like, even with the middle school golf team, that's something, especially for this size community, you wouldn't really expect. But that shows that to have this many plethora of sports and to have this much participation lets you know that our kids are active and that they want to find something to do. But as you said, we can start with the BRHS baseball team, who is playing tonight. One of the few teams I think that actually, as a part of Benja Russell, that is playing this week during spring break.
Brooks.
Yeah,
no spring break.
There was never a spring break. But BRHS baseball currently on the season 9-1, and they take on Auburn tonight. And this week they'll also start the area play. They go to Opelika on the 17th next Thursday, and then that following Friday they'll go ahead and they'll bring in Opelika. So 3 games there for them. coming down the stretch. So I can't lie. I'm extremely impressed right now with what Benjamin Russell has been able to do. You lose one of your best pitchers, if not your best pitcher, and Sean Rape to a football-related injury. So hopefully they're looking to get him back in sometime soon. But to be 9-1, I thought it'd be a little worse than this, but the way they've been able to pitch has been really outstanding. Wick Green has been one of their main contributors, and they've been able to get some guys like Marquise Odom and some other guys who have contributed with the bats. But 9-1 on the season so far, taking on Auburn tonight, getting ready to gear up for area play next week.
You know, you look at that record. I mean, can't get off to a much better start than that. And 9-1 for the Wildcats. And I know Coach Brooks will want them to continue to build and improve. You know, we talk to Coach Brooks all the time and grew up in that program and all. And he is stressed. You can't ever be content with where you are. You got to look forward. And but great start for this team. Glad to see it. You know, sometimes teams that come into the season that don't have a ton of high expectations end up being some of the teams that overachieve and excel. So we're looking forward to seeing if Benjamin Russell can continue to be a good, solid program as they've started 9-1 on the season. Scott, we'll take a break. Let's just go ahead and preview what we have. We have Justin Peters and his 3- and 4-year-old T-ball team, the Marlins, and then Brian Presley and his 3- and 4-year-old T-ball team as well. I think we may start with Brian and get him up here, let him talk about the 3- and 4-year-olds, and then we'll take a break and let him bring whoever he's got here. I know, again, we're at spring break, so may not have an entire team up here, but allow him to come up here and bring his kids up here. So we'll go ahead and take a break. Scott, when we come back, you'll be joined by Brian Presley, 3- and 4-year-old T-ball coach. Stay tuned. More of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup presented by JR right after this.
All teams need players who can fill the positions. S&S Tire has that team when it comes to your vehicle's tire mechanical needs. S&S.
2, 1.
Welcome back in. Thanks for joining the Sports Blitz Late Morning Sports Roundup show, live on location from beautiful downtown Alexander City, JR Sports Bar and Grill. I'm Scott Hardy, and right now we want to welcome in a very special guest and a good friend of mine, Brian Presley, who is a 3- and 4-year-old T-ball coach here for the Alexander City Youth Parks and Rec program. So first off, Brian, thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and so excuse me if I say coon dog at any point during our conversation. Brian and I played baseball together in high school, and he was such a tough guy that Coach Brooks named him coon dog. So that's always been something that followed around. But I'll try to keep it with Brian for the interview. But we were doing a little talking before. This your first year coaching, so how's that been going for you so far?
It's going.
It's going.
Yeah, it's 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I want to talk to you about that. I know that that's something that the last couple of years that we've tried to institute here is providing a 3- and 4-year-old league to kind of get kids exposed to them. What are your thoughts on that? Obviously, I know the earlier you can get them exposed, the better. But when you have some younger kids, I know it gets a little difficult sometimes.
Yeah, pretty much let them have fun. You're out there to make sure that the kids are, learning the sport the right way, but at the same time having fun while doing it.
Yeah, and so as somebody who was a former player and brings that experience to it, and now being somebody who coaches now, what is the difference been on this side of it than being an actual player, even at this young of age? Can you remember what it would have been like?
Not really. As far as just I'm coaching what I learned, so I feel real good as far as what I was coached. So I'm gonna pass it on to these kids as they grow up and. Maybe they're sticking there and hanging in there with it.
Yeah, and we're with Brian Presley, coach of the 3- and 4-year-old team. And what's the name? Are we the Braves?
Braves.
All right, well, then we can support that 3- and 4-year-old Braves team. And, getting T-ball, you're getting the fundamentals. So what is it and how important is it to you to be able to make sure that you're instilling in it? Because I know somebody who's followed baseball like you and I have that from an early age, the main thing they talk about is the fundamental side. So how's that been relaying that to them?
Right now, I got them pretty much knowing what set position is as far as field. I say set position, they get in set position, which a lot of people will know what that means to know the sport of baseball. And when it comes to throwing, I try to get them to extend their arm as far back as possible to come throwing. And as far as hitting, keep your eye on the ball. Never take your eye off the ball and squish the bug. That's what I'm stressing.
Squish the bug.
Yeah, that's what I'm stressing.
That's it. Well, what's been the most enjoyable part so far? I know your season hasn't started yet per se on the game side, but practice makes perfect. So how's that been going so far?
It's going. I can actually tell a big difference with the kids from the first practice to where they're at now as far as hitting, fielding, and listening. Therefore, the first practice, it was pretty much just discipline them, getting them to the point where they know, hey, I'm the coach, listen to me. And the parents are helping out tremendously. I mean, we got 5 to 6 people on the field at all times, which is good.
Yeah, and I was going to say that's a great lead-in because I know that we've had some different teams up here before, and even Sonny Wilson, the Parks and Rec director, and he's talked about what an advantage that our coaches have, that the parent support has been so great. And as somebody that's coaching, can you talk a little more about that, what the parent side is like and how that helps you?
Well, to tell you the truth, the majority of the dads we have on the team, they're on the field. I was told the other day as far as this year when T-ball comes around, the games, we can have as many people on the field as we want. Pretty much we're saying one parent per kid to keep them lined up. So that's going to help out a lot as far as just keeping them organized and not really fighting over the balls. We got that problem going on a lot.
I got you. Well, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and take another break right here. And when we return, we'll give you an opportunity to introduce some of your teams. So when we return, we'll have the 3- and 4-year-old Braves team, coached by Brian Presley. More of the Late Morning Sports Roundup show, live from JR's, right after this.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show. I'm your host, Scott Hardy, and you just missed an excellent segment there. If you did get an opportunity to hear it, we had Brian Presley on there, and former athlete at Benjamin Russell High School, baseball player, and now he is currently a 3- and 4-year-old coach for the Braves T-ball team in Ellick City Parks and Rec. So, Brian, what we'll do right now is give you an opportunity to introduce some of your players.
All right, come on. We got Trent right here, Trent and Gage.
What position does Trent play?
Well, right now we're still trying to work positions out.
I got you.
So,
Good deal.
Walk to your mama. We got Bentley right here. How you doing, Bentley?
Okay.
Walk on it. Come here. We got Riley right here.
Yeah, I'm ready for Preston Dunn.
Oh,
That's pretty awesome there. Not a shy group at all.
what's going on, man? We got Brent.
Bentley.
Yeah, we got Brent. Come here. What's your name?
Oh, Carson.
Say it again.
Oh, Carson.
Walk on back. Come here, Chandler. What's your name, man?
Shannon Davis.
Good job.
I think we got a few more.
Say your name, man.
Rowland Chandler Patterson.
Go on over there. Come here, Carson. We got Carson Bishop right here.
Carson Bishop. Well, that's a good amount of players there. Do you know how many teams are in the league so far?
16.
6 teams. All right. So I guess, are they all basically built around the same amount of number?
Yeah.
Good job.
It's 59 kids.
59 kids. Well, that's great. So when does the season actually start? Opening day?
It starts the 28th.
28th. All right. Well, everybody, that is Brian Presley, and we want to commend you and the rest of the parents and fathers that are out there helping these kids get a great development skill here. T-ball is one of the most essential things that you can do. Hitting off the tee is such a great thing, and hopefully these kids will have an opportunity to learn the fundamentals. And so, again, we appreciate everything that you're doing out there.
Yes, sir. No problem. Thanks for letting us on here.
All right. Good deal. We'll go ahead and take another break. More of the Late Martin Sports Roundup show right after this.
2. Hold on. Text me that.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show. Brett Pritchard and Scott Hardy here with you till 7 o'clock. Scott, that's always a lot of fun. You won't be long for it. Maybe you have a.
Well, you know, I don't want to expedite the process. Yeah,
well, you're not on the fast track. There's no
definitely not. But it was good. Every time we do these shows, we've 2 or 3 of them. I've had people that are around my age that are now coaching.
Yeah, how does that make you feel?
And I'm starting to get, you know, I know where my place is now. You know,
you do?
Yeah, and it's definitely not in that state. That further lets me know. But I applaud him. That's what I was telling him. And you know, anybody that has the patience to do it on any level, but especially for a 3 or 4 year old team, that's extreme patience. So we know that takes a lot of help, not only from him, but the parents and family of those individuals as well. So hats off to Sonny Wilson and the rest of the Parks and Rec staff for putting this on. I know that in some eyes you might think it may be a little too young, but in reality, I don't think it's ever too young for somebody to learn the fundamentals of the game.
The bottom line for that age group, Scott, and for everybody out there listening, thinks that 3 and 4 year old T-ball might be silly. You're not out there to try to win some kind of championship, right? I mean, you got every kid on the field, and if they're learning anything at all, that's what the goal is. I mean, you're giving everybody a turn. You're letting them get accustomed to what's happening when the ball's hit, you know, and they may take off and run to third base, you know, when they hit the ball. They may take off and run to the pitcher's mound, or, you know, they may sit the ball on the infield and let everybody run all the way around the bases. You know, your patience, you just have to go into it knowing this is not some type of high school game or college game. You are here to let these kids run around, kind of get some of the energy out and have fun, you know, just enjoy it at an early age and, you know, really celebrate something when they make a play on the field at 3 and 4 years old, because most of them don't have a concept of it yet. So that's why you get them out there. That way, when they get to be 5 and 6 and then 7 and 8, the earlier you introduce somebody to something, the quicker they pick up on it. I mean, ask Tiger Woods. I mean, was it too early for him to be hitting a golf ball at 3 years old?
Obviously not.
I mean, obviously not. I mean, and you see a lot of great athletes pick up on sports at an early age, whether it be tennis, baseball, softball, whatever it is, basketball. I think there's a story on about Greg Anthony's son at an early age. When he was born, he was around basketball his whole life and shooting basketball when he was 2 years old on a little small goal, and then working his way up and you know, that's all he's ever known, and that's why he's good at what he does. I mean, so you may be blessed with athletic ability. That's one good thing. If you got athletic ability, that's great. But you can work hard at something, be exposed to something at an early age, and you can make up for maybe a gap that you have in athletic ability just by the knowledge and knowing how to play the game. You and I have seen it in football numerous times with, you know, when guys are on the field and, you know, right out of the gate, they don't have near the talent that somebody across the field from them has, but they always seem to make the play because they know the game. They know where to be. They're in the right spot. So there is something about that, folks out there, if you're listening, you know, being able to study the game, understand what it is, and play through it. Now, look, if you're blessed with athletic ability in whatever sport, now, yeah, you don't have to work as hard, but you can catch up to one of those athletes that has a lot of ability when they don't try as hard, and you know what you're doing in that particular game or particular instance in a game, and you make the play and you can beat that person, Scott.
Yeah, and again, I'm with you. I don't think there's ever an instance to where in certain situations, yeah, obviously you wouldn't want a kid at 2 or 3 years old out there in pads. Now even flag football. I know we do have that, so at a 5 and 6 level, and I think that's great. But on the baseball side, if you look at other communities around even Alabama, around the country, that's their main focus is getting kids on the soccer and baseball field at an earlier age as possible, because it not only provides you with an opportunity to expose them to the game, but you get them active and stuff. And so when you provide activity and leisure activities at such a young age, it's something that they look forward to doing, growing, or they know, you know, maybe kind of early on, you know, whether or not this may not be something that we want to get them involved in. So I think it's just a well-rounded effort all the way around, and hats off for those individuals stepping forward and being able to coach.
What stood out to you when you were a youth? I mean, now looking back, obviously at the time you didn't really know, I mean, what you were doing and going through. But now that you have a chance to reflect, what is the one, if you had one thing to reflect on all your youth league sports, what stood out to you? Was it a coach? Was it a particular team you were on? Did you make a play that you'll never forget? Or what is it?
I was making plays out there, Brett. So I don't know if there was.
But you can't narrow it down. Do you have a top 10?
No,
all right, let's be real.
I really think that. I don't know. I think about people like Lee Foshee and Mark Rigby and guys who coached me in football and basketball, and you don't really – I still call them coach now. You don't think about the impact that those people will have on your life as you go forward. But I really would just say the coaching part, and then, you play with these guys.
Lee is in Brandon's brother.
Yes, as in Brandon Foshee's brother. Yes.
We'll make sure I got my boy right there.
Coach Lee was one of my football and basketball coaches, him and Mark Rigby, and that was always a lot of fun. But I guess I'll tell you what, Luke would be so mad at me if I didn't say this. The year that Luke and my dad coached me, the year that Luke and my dad coached me, I think was the most fun.
The picture's up in here.
Yeah,
JR.
It's never going to let me forget.
Right around the corner.
But I think that's another thing too, and you can speak on that as well. If you're a parent and you've been able to coach your son too or your daughter in whatever sport, then I think that brings some togetherness too.
Straight baller, right?
Yeah.
Straight baller for you, Scott, right? That's what it says in that picture. What it said in that picture. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to give you props where props are due. But, I think we all remember that. I mean, Randy likes to bring up the fact that me and Austin were on one of the worst teams that have ever played baseball over there. And Austin didn't want to be out there. I mean, he didn't care anything about it. He wanted to play basketball. I brought a basketball to the dugout. So, you do remember some funny things. You remember some good things. I remember I hit a home run against the Cardinals. My parents weren't there.
My first home run, the same thing for me. My parents weren't there.
They probably didn't think I was going to hit one. So, of course, when they didn't show up, and then it wasn't because they couldn't. It was because they had something with work, and they got there right as about when the game was over, and everybody told them I had the game ball, and I think my dad was like, "Where'd you find that at?" So, I hit it out, and but you have those memories of things when you played little league basketball, little league baseball, little league football, whatever it is that might stand out later on. As I grew up a little bit and played in one of the youth tournaments in Midway, I finished third in that tournament. I had some good golfers. I know Gary Hines was in that tournament. I know Grand Dart was playing in that tournament.
A little bit there. I didn't know
we used to play a lot, so no, I couldn't break 100 now if I tried. And but when it goes back to when you play all the time, Scott, you can kind of cover up some of that non-athletic ability if you're not as good in a particular sport. So, but we literally used to play down at what's Lake Winds now. It used to be Midway. We used to play all day long, and our parents would drop us off down there, and it would be nothing. And I'm not exaggerating, nothing to walk 3 rounds of golf in one day.
Yeah, that's not for me there. I'm more of a
but that's what you couldn't drive anywhere, had nothing to do. So why not you and 5, 6 of your buddies get out there, have a membership to the city golf course. Summertime, you get to go at your own pace, do what you want to do. Well, what else you want to be doing at that point in time during the middle of the day when everybody's at work? So we had a good time doing it, and we didn't look at it. It's like, oh, we got to walk through rounds. We wanted to walk through rounds. We played from sun up to sundown, and that stands out to me as well. If we got that whole crew back together and we had to walk one round of 18, they might have to bring MTAC out there to a few people. But anyway. It's a lot of fun.
A great job though with the golf course. I know that they've been making a lot of improvements to that, and also adding a junior league golf there, and that's been a very, very popular sport for that age group as well.
That's right.
That's caused the interest there has caused the opportunity for them to have a middle school golf team, and that's something that I think that we should hang our hat on as well. So a lot of sports development is happening around the community as well. So I'm excited about the progress that we're making on the youth level.
Let's get to the phone lines. You're on the Lake Martin Sports Roundup. Hey, caller, are you with us?
I think we lost him. Hold on.
We're going to go. What we'll do is go to break. When we come back, we'll have Shane Harris from the Extension Agency on with us, Scott, to talk about something we talk about on this show a lot, and that's outdoors, hunting season, fishing. The hunting season that just came in is about to come. Well, it's already been in for youth, but coming in this weekend will be turkey season. So we'll talk to Shane Harris about turkey season when we come back. Stay tuned. More of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup presented by JR's right after this. Are we down, brother? Shane Harris on with us from the Extension Agency. Shane, you with us, brother?
They just cannot hear you. Hold on. Go back and talk a little
Shane, are you ready? Okay, that failed. So another connection failure we have here on Lake Martin Sports Roundup, but we'll try to get Shane on. I think a lot of people interested in hearing about what's going on in the world of outdoors with turkey season. It's a it's an exciting time of year for people to get ready for this time, and the conflict, as BJ was up here, Scott, what me and BJ would be talking about right now is that the conflict you have with turkey season is the fishing gets real good on Lake Martin in April and in March. So you have to decide which one's more of a priority. And now, if you're retired and you want to go turkey hunting and fishing, you can do that. But for everybody else that has jobs and has to prioritize, and you have kids that are playing little league sports and all that, there's not as much time to do anything in your spare time. So you have to pick which one you'd rather do. And at this time, I want to talk about some of the stuff that you and I know about. That's the Allen City Sports Foundation golf tournament on Wednesday, April the 1st, and then on Saturday, April 4th, the Allen City Sports Foundation fishing tournament. It will be at Wind Creek State Park, and there are flyers all over town. There's some here at JR's. They're at Watts gas station. Brandon, you talking about Lee and Brandon? They own that now. Fishtails, BJ Barnett's store. You got flyers there. There are flyers all over town. And if you want to stop by any of those locations, pick one up. And I emailed a couple out yesterday to some people that are interested, but a $1,500 guaranteed to the first prize. And the other prizes will be divvied out based on number of boats that we have, Scott. So we had 41 boats the first year. We're looking maybe 60, 65 this year if the weather's good and, things hold out. That is Easter weekend, but we know a lot of people will be back in town. It's a Saturday. It's the Saturday before Easter. So we're looking forward to it. Greg Vincent and I will fish that tournament together. And if we win first, we're going to turn around and give that $1,500 back to the Sports Foundation. So we need everybody pulling for us. We need everybody pulling for us because Sports Foundation wins. But no, seriously, if you're a fisherman out there and you're looking for a tournament to get in, this is going to be a good one. 2 weeks after that, Outdoor Friends Forever, Jim Hardy, will have their fishing tournament. I fished in that one last year. There were over 100 boats in that tournament. Guaranteed $10,000 first through, I think they pay out 20 spots. And so first through 20 guaranteed. The money's already been put up front by sponsors and donated, and excited about fishing that tournament again too, Scott. We'd love to have 100 boats in our tournament as well. That would mean big things for the Sports Foundation. So I want to continue to promote that. But on Wednesday, April 1st is our golf tournament at Willow Point. It's $1,000 a team. If you think about that and what you're getting to do and what you're able to participate in, that's not a lot of money. It really is not. It's a 4-man team, so it's $250 a person. Most avid golfers pay $150, $200 just for a round of golf somewhere else that they have to go off to, and they don't get the prizes that they'll get when they come down there, and they're not able to be fed like they're going to be fed, and they're not going to get to play a great course like Willow Point. So excited about that. So make sure you pencil that in on your calendar as well. Let's try to get Shane back one more time. Shane, are you with us? Shane, you on with us? I barely could hear something. Shane, give you a shot. One more time. Shane Harris. Not going to be able to get Shane on, obviously. Unfortunately, wanted to talk to him about turkey season. Maybe we can get to this break, Scott, and try to get him on and see if we can get his thoughts because, he and I have already talked real briefly. I'll share this, that believe it or not, the turkey population in the state of Alabama is on the decline. It's something that everybody has to be mindful of, Scott. I know as far as outdoors, that's just not what you choose to do in your spare time. But for everybody involved in anything outdoors, conservation is a must. You better protect your water resources. You better protect your land.
What's the limit difference between turkey and deer? Like, is there a certain amount for the year that you can
I'm not, and again, I don't hunt turkey a lot.
Okay, I got you.
I'm actually Braden and I have in the past, but I don't know what the new laws and regulations are. So, we need to find that out, and Shane has all that information. That's what I was hoping that we could get from him. But the conservation part of anything in the natural, in the outdoors is important. Making sure you abide by the fish limits. Make sure you do the things. And when we go offshore in Venice, Louisiana, I mean, you can go out there and the limit's 2 yellowfin tuna a piece. Well, you don't need to keep 10 yellowfin tuna. It's a waste. It's too much meat, Scott. You bring that many fish back and you overexploit the resource. You kind of have to go sit back and say, all right, what do I need to get within reason? Because one day you'll go out there and there won't be any for anybody to catch. So it's very important. I know it sounds like I'm up here preaching about it, but if we have to take note and we have to protect our own stuff, or it won't be there one day.
Yeah, and that you bring up, I can speak more on the fishing side than I can on the hunting side. But I know, like you were saying, this time of year, especially at Lake Martin, this is when the fish tend to be a little bit better. So when the Elliott City Sports Foundation has this golf tournament, that would be a good opportunity for some people competing in the other tournament there to get some experience there and come in. So I think it'll be a good overall experience for everybody. And I know last year's fishing tournament was a great success.
It was.
And so if we're able to build on something like this, I think that'll definitely be a major opportunity and a way to highlight our community as well, because once you get people here, then you can let them know about some of the other great things like JR Sports Bar and Grill. So again, I'm intrigued to see how things go forward with, and I hate we weren't able to get him on because I was interested to see that, because a lot of my friends do hunt both turkey and deer, and I just wanted to understand the difference, I guess, and what's a little easier and what's not. I would assume that turkey would be a little bit because you can call them, so that would make more sense. But again, 256-234-6221 is the number to dial in. You can call in and ask
6221.
6221.
Okay, all right. I was about to say we shorted it a number. So I tell you what we'll do. We'll take our last break here, Scott, and we'll come back and we'll wrap up the Lake Martin Sports Roundup. Stay tuned. More of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup presented by JR's right after this.
Lunch doesn't have to be the same old fast food or burgers in your busy day.
Hey, guys, you there?
Barbecue has a great meal at a great price with a lunch special.
Hey.
Offering a meat and two.
Hey, I don't know what the deal is.
$6.99.
We had him on the line. He can barely hear you guys for some reason from the matrix into the phone. The volume is not very loud. We've got it turned up on the knobs that we can do. I'm not sure what the deal was. He couldn't very much hear y'all, and sometimes he could, and sometimes he couldn't. I did a couple tests, and most of the time I can barely hear you. Sometimes you'll jump up to where I can hear it, and then it'll go right back down. I don't know what the deal is. That's all I know.
One needs. Whether your aim is a 2-year degree or a jump start on a 4-year degree, you can feel confident that you will leave Central Alabama with a sharper focus on life. Find out more about the world of opportunity that can be yours. And remember, Central Alabama, central to you.
Central to your success.
At
At Brown Nursing Home, you'll find quality care and comfortable living. We take great pride in our rehabilitation services, including short-term rehabilitation. We offer speech, occupational, and physical therapy, as well as skilled nursing care. Brown is located on Washington Street in Alexander City. For more information, contact Cecily Lee, the administrator, at 256-329-9061.
This is Representative Mark M. Tuggle. I am the Republican nominee running for re-election to Alabama House District 8.
$400. Check yearly, see clearly.
Come back to y'all in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show. We're here in our last segment of the evening. We've had a very great show tonight. We want to thank our guest, Brian Presley, the head coach for the 3- and 4-year-old T-ball team, as a part of the Alexander City Parks and Rec Youth League baseball program. And we appreciate all of our guests who come up here on the JR Sports Bar and Grill, Lake Martin Sports Roundup. If you're interested in bringing any of your kids up here, anybody that you would like to highlight, or any event that is going on around the community that you would like for us to promote, just make sure to contact Justin Clayton or reach us on our Facebook and Twitter page. That's at Sports Blitz with a Z for Twitter, and then you can search us, excuse me, for Facebook, just Sports Blitz. So again, a very, very great show tonight. Brian Presley, 3- and 4-year-old T-ball team. Again, thanks to them. But we want to also say, I want to make sure we bring back attention to the poker walk. Make sure that everybody comes out next Tuesday. It will be St. Patty's Day, so make sure that you come out in your green. I know I have a little bit of green on today, so I have to make sure I bring that back again next week. But we'll have a very, very, very busy and packed night that night. JR Sports Bar and Grill will have their doors open. I think the event will start around 5 o'clock, so make sure you get in early. We'll be doing our annual selection of teams for the NCAA tournament with Selection Sunday coming up this Sunday. I think that everybody will be a little intrigued to see what the seeds are, but that's always been a great event for us here at JR's, and we appreciate them extending their doors to us. But as we talked about on this show today, a little baseball, a little basketball, a little baseball, a little softball, tennis, golf, a lot of spring sports going on around the area. So everybody out there that's on spring break right now, make sure you enjoy yourself, because the second half of that season is coming up, and we want to make sure that everyone out there involved has a great and successful season. Also, before we get ready to head out today, I again want to make sure that when it comes to the March Madness thing, make sure that on Tuesday you get here about 5:30, and we'll make sure that you're able to bring in anything else that you would like to talk about. I think we'll have 2 or 3 teams from the City League program here in Alexander City, and we should have some coaches available too. So that's always been a highlight of mine, being able to talk to the youth and being able to highlight the things that they have going on. I know that Sonny Wilson and the rest of his staff have been doing an outstanding job trying to make sure that they can provide the best facilities for us as well. I know that they're working on a new soccer complex that my good buddy Allison too, who's the head coach of the soccer team, has been really excited about, and he has been doing a fantastic job of promoting the soccer program as I see my buddy Chase Burton here working as well. So I know that they're one of the few teams that aren't playing right now. Baseball is the only one right now, so hopefully they're playing. I know they're taking on Auburn tonight at home, so if you have an opportunity to go out and check them out, and then they'll get prepared for next week, which is the key part of their season, which is area play. March 17th, they travel to Opelika rather, and then on the 19th they travel. Opelika will travel here for a doubleheader. For a doubleheader that will start area play. 2 out of 3 is what you'd like to take from them. Always, the third game is usually used as a tiebreaker, so you want to make sure that you're able to take care of business with the first 2. The Wildcats won 25 games last season. And they didn't make the playoffs, and that's something that I know Coach Brooks and the rest of the staff are looking forward to. Before we get ready to wind things down, I also would like to give a shout out to Kendall Graveman, who on Friday had his first spring training start. He pitched 2 innings and he didn't give up any runs. So he allowed 2 base runners, but he got out of the jam, and that provided him the opportunity to be able to work out of the stretch. And that's something that he was working on. So again, with spring training approaching, he has an opportunity, a very good one, to make the rotation. There's only 2 spots filled right now that are for certain. And so if Kendall is able to go out and continue to put out the type of numbers that he had in Friday's game, I think you'll see a very, very happy Coach Craven, because his son will be in the rotation. But we're getting ready to wrap things up here on the Late Morning Sports Roundup show. I really want to thank Daniel and Jackson in the back, as well as Justin Clayton, our producer. So for Brett Pritchard, I'm Scott Hardy saying thanks for joining us. See you next week.
Keeping you informed. Here's your 20-minute weather.